Shut up and sit down.
Hello folks, Colin here, Festa 67's workshop, and welcome to issue number 7 of Build the 1967 Mustang Eleanor, starring in the Gone in 60 Seconds film franchise, folks. And this is from the wonderful people over at Fanhome, folks. So if you'd like to grab your very own Eleanor, click this little linkykins right away along there, ka-ching, and it will take you over to Fanhome's website where you can order and start your subscription for your Eleanor. You can then build along with me. This is a large 1/8 scale precision die-cast model, folks. So yes, you are in for a treat. First up, let's have a look through this month's magazine. The usual sections in there with your step-by-step assembly guide, the beautiful Eleanor section, the Gone in 60 Seconds universe, behind the scenes and stuff like that. You then got the cars with women's names, and then the classic Mustangs, folks. So in this issue, we are assembling your superb 1/8 scale model of Eleanor. It's simple and joy. You will finish the right seat and assemble the right rear middle chassis section. So grab the bits from your last section, folks, because you're going to need them. There you go. There's a nice exploded diagram there of what you're going to be getting. This is kit number 23, and you'll be fitting the bottom part and cushion to the right seat of your Eleanor Mustang. There you go. And there's the bits and pieces in there, parts 23A and B, and some PS5 screws. Again, grab the seat back that you built from a previous issue, and we're putting this all together today, folks. That section there, right the way through, so you end up with a completed seat. Then in kit number 24, that was kit number 23 there, sorry. In kit number 24, you are getting the middle of the chassis, folks, that lot. Big chunk of die cast there. And you'll get that and some DS2 screws. And it shows you there on the model what you're going to be making. And it just literally drops in place. And then you use the screws to secure it in its final resting place, folks. And as you can see, you're already beginning to grow the chassis now. So you're going to be building right away along to the front end now, folks. And this is where your model's size will start becoming apparent, because she is a big one. You've then got in kit number 25, you've then got the tunnel section that goes underneath the rear seats. So you've got that going in. That then fits in directly above there, and then you'll secure that with some DS02 screw, folks. So that will then give you that complete section as you see it there, with all your fixings and fittings in place. And there's the completed section that you'll end up with. Then in kit number 26, you've got A and B section there, 26A and 26B. And it is literally the rear differential and axle, folks, that will be starting to be assembled. It gives you your screws in there, and then this locks into place in the rear axle. And that will be that stage complete. And then you can put this to one side in a safe place, ready for the next build issue. You've then got the leading lady there. Denise Haliki poses next to an updated version of Eleanor that was built for the launch of the new Gone in 60 Seconds movie, because this was a reboot from the early 1970s film, folks. So there's a nice little bit of right up there. Nice little picture there of top-down view of the Mustang. It is an absolutely beautiful, iconic vehicle, isn't it? Always stands out in the crowd. You've then got Otto, who is Memphis's mentor. There you go, played by Robert Duvall, and I thought he would play a really good role in this, I must admit, as the good old boy ringer so to speak. He who owned the chop shop and could get all of this stuff organised, and yeah, played to perfection. That was that role. Got some more history there. It says Otto is the Yoda of the group. He represents the old school and he's a source of knowledge and organisational skills for the group. There you go. And then there's some more Gone in 60 Seconds files there. I'll give these a read, folks, because they really do give you a good background of the movies. There is Lynn, which was the 1998 Toyota Supra Turbo. And there's some fact files there on how it was jazzed up for the movie. Another bit there on Lynn, Toyota Supra. You've then got Sharon, which was a 65 Pontiac GTO. And the cars of this era, folks, oh, they're to die for, aren't they? They really are dream cars. Yeah, look fast even though they're stationary, don't they? I mean, who could not fall in love with this sort of vehicle, folks? Absolutely beautiful. You've then got the classic Mustangs there, the rare T5, a Mustang, it says, in disguise. Yes, 400,000 domestic US sales under its belt. Ford looked to new markets and tried to export Mustangs to Germany, but the company quite literally ran into a truck. Yes, folks. The Mustang emblem was replaced with a simple T5 insignia. Yes, folks. So that's the finish of that magazine, and then it will give you a quick, brief thing on what you're going to get for the next issue in number 8, which is the other half of the rear axle and the springs. Some leaf springs, left brake disc, and shock absorber, and rim and centre cap. So there you go, folks. So we're going to put this at the back like we normally do, and we'll start opening up all of these parts, folks. And I'm going to dig out the pieces from the previous issue as well. So we'll line all of the parts up and then we'll get the rest of the Mustang in place for you, folks. Right, there's the seat from the previous issue there. So what we want to do is we want to line that up just like so. Happy days. Get that all in place. And then we want to drop the cushion section just on top. Just so that all these holes line up in place, folks. So that's what we're trying to do. So you just want to get your little bit of rubber there over the front. And then it will pop in place. And then hold it with your finger. This is going into plastic, but I'm still going to put a little droppy cans of oil on them. Just be on the safe side, folks, because I'd rather have a bit of oil on them than none at all. Just helps the screws go in a bit easier. It's got a little oil there, single drop, and then pinch it with your fingers. Press your screwdriver on the knuckle of your thumb, and then screw that straight in there like that. And that will go straight in to the plastic underneath. Same with the next screw. And I'll do these in diagonals, just my personal preference, folks. Like so. Little dip of oil. Spin that round. Rest it on my knuckle. Screw that straight in. Have you some of that. There you go. And that's going in rather splendidly into that piece. There you go, and that'll pull that together, just like that. Do the same on the other two. Pop the screw on the end of the screwdriver, little dabbykins, like so. Rest it on the front, straight in there. Just like that. And then one more to go. Like that. Little dab of oil. And then send that one home as well, folks. Just in that one there, go. There you go. Right at the front there, you'd already done the one at the back. Like that. And that is that seat section sorted. kit number 23 completed, folks. So there you go. So that's your second seat. So we have one in there from the previous issue. Again, where I'm storing these parts, I just put it back in a nice polythene bag for safekeeping until I'm ready to do the assembly. And I make sure I just pop the staples out just to be on the safe side. And that will then sit in the box all nice, neat and tidy. So we now go on to kit number 24, which is this piece of die-cast here, which is the floor pan that sits just underneath the seats. Let's just put the spare PS05 screw over there. And on this one, we've got DS02 screws, folks. There's 5 in the packet. So we just open that up, drop 4 of them out. Normally, like I say, you always get a spare. So let's just drop 4 of them out. Like that. I'll tell you what, let's drop all 5 out. There you go, DS02s. I've got a big bag of these screws and I'll keep them all in their respective packets. And then from the last issue, we've got this floor section that we built up that had the fuel tank on it, folks. So bring that into play, just like so. And then we'll see what we've got then. So it's basically calling out for this to be assembled now, folks. So just have a look in the instructions to make sure you're orientating everything correctly. And you're basically dropping this onto this section here, is where it's asking to go. So you've got a couple of locating pegs each side. So bear that in mind, folks, but you want to orientate this the correct way. So what you've got is you've got a curve section here. That's the side that you want to go in there. Okay, so bear that in mind, folks. So you want to try and get this the right way round. So let's just double check that I am doing that correctly in there, like so. And then you want to turn it upside down so that these holes are in place. And bear in mind, you're now going into die cast, so this is where the oil will come into its own. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put the outside ones in first and then come back and do the innards. So let's just pop one of these in and start it off. I'm not going to fully home it yet. I'll do all of that when I've got all 4 in place. Another little bit of oil on that one. Same the other side. I'll turn it round so it's nearer to me, just like so. Just a little bit in there, not fully. And then screw number 3, just like that. Pop that in place. There you go. Now that I've got 2 in there, I can start homing these now. So I'm happy to start putting these fully in. There you go. And that's now just bit beautifully on the edge there. And then that now leaves me the very final screw to go in on this little piece of floor. Just like that. And straight away it's just giving it so much more rigidity. Already you're beginning to see the scale of this vehicle. There you go. Home that, fully home, and look at that, folks, already. Yeah, that's big, isn't it? And that is now that section number 24 completed, folks. So we've now got kit number 25. So we still need this. So keep this out on the bench. And you now want kit number 25, folks. We'll just pop this open. And you've got a load of DS2 screws going in here, folks. So that's the piece you've got, which is the tunnel section. and that rests on there like that. Okay, so there's quite a few locating pegs all round this, so you just want to make sure that you're getting them all in the right spot like that, and it will give you a nice resounding click. So I'm just going to pull my instructions a bit further upright so that I can see where the first few screws are going to go, folks. There you go. So they're calling for the first two to go right down the front on these little ear rolls. So we'll get them in place. They're going into die cast, so we might as well home these straight away as they go in, just so that I know that each screw I'm putting in is finitoed. So a little bit of lubricant on there from the oiler, and we'll start screwing this all in place like that. So we'll get the front two done, and we're working our way around the sections here. 25.02 on the instructions is what we're on at the moment. So we'll put one on the other side of that transmission tunnel there, where the drive or prop shaft, whichever way you want to call it, goes. There you go. And then it's calling for another couple just on here is where it's calling out for, so we'll put them in. It's worth double checking, folks, where your screws are going, just so that you make sure you're getting them where they should go, because you'll never forgive yourself if you don't get it right. A little tinsy wincy bit of oil in there, and we're going in into there, just like that. And then we'll spin that round so you can see the other one. These little ears just there. So I think that'll be those two, and then I have a feeling we'll be going in them ones as well. So work your way around, folks. Like I say, check and double check your instructions. Nothing wrong with double checking, folks, especially at this stage, because once you start getting all the interior in and all the seats, you don't really want to be coming back and fiddling around with parts that you may have not put in correctly when you first assembled it. So yeah, that was correct. It is those ears just there on the side. They are the next two, so we'll grab two more screws and put those in. A little dab of oil, and it's just here that we're screwing into, where the tip of my finger is, just there. Like so. Drop the other side round so it's nearer to me, so I don't have to stretch right over. And it's just repeating the process all the way through. A little bit of oil does make the job that much easier, I must admit. There you go. Absolute quality of this piece is phenomenal, folks. Let's just get me excess oil off of there. Don't want that, do we? All that come off of there, because you don't want all that oil on there. There you go. Give that a wipe when I'm done. So that's those two screws, and then we want to go in these raised parts just on the edges there. Two screws, and then it'll be one in the middle there. 1, 2, 3. And that'll be this piece then in place. And it really is nice to suddenly see this coming together, folks. Yeah. You won't be disappointed with this. I know I've said it more than once, but honestly, I don't think you'll be disappointed with this at all. It's beautifully made. It certainly goes together flawlessly, I must admit. I have thoroughly enjoyed the little stages I've been doing so far. I hope you've been enjoying building yours. Certainly well worth it. And you get to make Eleanor Mustang noises at the very end, folks. So what more can you possibly want? And yes, I will upload my brum brum noises for those who want to put a soundboard in. Yeah. There you go. And then the last screw on the right hand side there to secure that in place. Just like that, folks. And that's that stage complete. So already that rear floor section is beginning to take shape, and the weight of it, it's just phenomenal, peeps. It really is. Just that little piece alone already is beginning to become quite substantial. Right, we have now got kit number 26 to go in and start getting assembled. So let's open that and see what we've got going on here. This is going to be the first part of your rear axle and differential housing, folks. So bearing in mind there's two parts of this, I will probably build it and then put it back in its bag until the next issue comes through, because I don't want to lose any bits and pieces, folks. So I'll keep the bag to one side, and then we've got a couple of PS08 screws to go in, like so. So we'll grab two of those, just like so. They're ready, and they go in here, in these two little screw holes there, folks. So let's get them in place. Load them up, and then that will give us these two little bits and bobs there. So again, I'll put a little bit of oil on them just to be on the safe side, like that. Little dab. Hold that with me thumb, and then just screw them home, just like that. Bosh. And then we'll do the same for the other side. And then it's basically saying leave that as it is until your next issue, folks. So this is where keeping your bags comes in really, really handy, because you're not going to lose the bits then, are you, in between build sessions. So we just want to sit them in there like that. And I think what happens with these is when you put this together, got a couple of little recesses there, see them? And that will sit just like that in there and hold that in place. And that will give you your differential then. But we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. We'll just keep them two pieces in the polythene bag, ready for the next issue. So straight away, folks, as you can see, that is this episode coming to an end. So don't forget, if you want to grab your very own Eleanor, hit up this link below. Head over to Fanhome and start your subscription, and then you can build along with me, and then we can all do brum brum noises together at the end of this part work, folks. But until the next issue, thank you very much for watching me. Thanks for coming in and keeping me company. Hopefully you like what you're seeing here. Hopefully you want to go and grab a subscription. And until the next issue, stay safe, stay well. Bye-bye for now.